What turns you on in porn, but was a disaster in real life? I'm just going to say right now, be real careful with the reverse cowgirl. Now you know how the iron pixar feels. Tried evacuumt. Turned out I'm allergic to latex. My boyfriend said I looked like a goblin. That's a hell of a way to find out about your latex allergy. Outdoor and public 6. It went well, but it was so different from what I imagined lol. I couldn't enjoy it cause I was so anxious of getting caught lol. Sex with a delivery guy. Go on. The first time I tried anal sex, I thought it felt just like ducking a vagina. After a while I told her that, and she said, "That is my vagina." I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And she said it felt good. So I didn't want you to stop. Apostrophe. What can I tell you? The lights were out. Self-bondage. Don't do it alone, or you will be putting yourself in some serious trouble. A friend of mine was lucky enough that I had to go to their house because I had forgotten something there the last day. He wasn't picking up any calls or anything, and no one had seen him. So I worried. Went to his home, peeked through a window, and saw him cuffed and chained to a pipe in his kitchen with a collar. The keys were in front of him but out of reach. I called a locksmith to open the door, but didn't let him see my friend, and saved him. He had been there for at least 12 hours. I remember when I was a horny teen I would use rope I found in the garage to tie my limbs to the bedposts. I got duck-in stuck, and rope burn on my wrists and ankles until the rope just finally had enough tension I could get an extra inch or two to finally undo it. It's neat but like, I had rope marks around my limbs for days. I don't remember how my parents didn't find out. Anything humiliation related. When I'm horny it's hot, but when I've busted it would activate my depression. The protagonist in porn is usually pretty fit. In my life, the protagonist is me. Standing up. What? How does that even work? It works with someone who is fun-sized. I was summoned. Finishing on the face in this one video in which she kept asking what was her favorite genre of music for some reason. Rough blowjobs turn me on in porn, but in real life it just hurts and I'm covered in snot. Also dildos. Fun in porn, but I can't get anything bigger than a pencil inside when I'm on my own. Actually everything in porn is probably a disaster. Those women are literally athletes. I agree on rough BJs from the side of the receiver. Especially her teeth scraping on my dick is an instant turn off. Plus, deep throats hurt me for some reason. My cock isn't that big, but something in the throat doesn't feel right on my tip, and I'm scared of her puking in my pee hole. I have this but reverse. I'm into BDSM. Actually doing all that stuff and being tied up and degraded is amazing when I'm experiencing it, but watching it, yuck. Hentai. Can't draw tits to save my life. I honestly can't either. I never tried starting sexual drawings, but back in my artistic days every female character I drew either had a large coat or was flatter than Amy Schumer's jokes. Orgy. Remember, the type of people you want at an orgy are never the kinds of people at the orgy. Getting a BJ under the table while other people are completely oblivious. Wouldn't have the balls to attempt that. Disaster is a bit of an exaggeration, but I had a girlfriend that let me put it in her, but a couple times and I just wasn't in love with it. A lot hotter in porn, but in real life I was just thinking there was a perfectly fine vagina right there. Public 6. Being escorted out of Nordstrom was kinda of embarrassing. I got a new MM. What the duck are you doing? Exclamation mark. Once for trying to alternate between anal and vaginal. Those fellas on the computer do it like it's the most natural thing in the world. But I had to learn from experience that it's actually really dangerous for the vagina possessing participant. Which makes perfect sense after it was pointed out to me. Kinda like how I try to avoid getting fesses stuck up my urethra. Makes me wonder how porn stars are able to do it so confidently. Standing sex. Unless you both are just the right heights and like focusing more on standing than sex. Threesome. Me and 2 women. They fairly quickly forgot about me. My attempts to join weren't batted away, but there was no effort to keep me in either. It was quite easy to see that they were enjoying each other when I wasn't involved. Are you Ross? Food stuff, especially chocolate. Chocolate. It's just so gross in practice. Tastes like hair and sweat. Impossible to clean off. And it literally looks like shit smears. Not very hot in person. The cake porn where they put ice cream and icing on each other and it comes in contact with their bits. The real world. Major yeast infection. Asking what a step sibling is doing. In real life. It's pretty boring shit. Sex in the car. It looks more lustful and well positioned in movies. Unless you know how to arrange your seats, you are gonna have a bad time. Cue megalovania. Depends on the car. Really. One of the things I miss most about my Honda Element is how much room there is for ducking with the back seats all the way down. There is no such thing as too much lube for anal. Sex on a plane. X and I went into the bathroom discreetly, about 2 minutes apart. We did the deed, though there was absolutely no room for any limbs. It was like playing Twister in a tin can. Get back to our seats and all is well and good, until a flight attendant approaches us and berates us in front of everyone. If they were unaware beforehand, they definitely knew after he showed up, threatening to arrest us when they landed, etc. We played innocent and acted shocked about his accusations in front of several families around us. 10/10ths would not recommend, unless you have a private jet. All bets are off if you have a private jet. Ripping pantyhose. I have a huge nylon fetish, and it seems so normal on porn. I forget that my wife is a normal woman with normal pubic hair. So when I grab those pantyhose to rip, I end up pulling on pubes. It definitely takes the mood down quite a few pegs. Shower sex. Thought it was going to be great, but every time I've tried it the experience has been disappointing. There are just so many cons. Water is an anti-lubricant. Someone is always either cold or being waterboarded. It's usually cramped, and there's always the risk of slipping and seriously injuring yourself. Showers are great for foreplay, though. The problem with showers as foreplay is that there's always the delay while you and your partner dry yourselves off. Rarely does it transition seamlessly into hot sex on the bed. Threesome. Never with a wife and one of her female friends. Ruined a friendship, and I got a guilt trip for months about her not being enough. Was not worth the headache. Lol, I dated a girl years ago who was jealous af. Like delete all your female friends on FB jealous. Who also wanted to have a threesome with random girls. That was a disaster waiting to happen. I was smart enough to always talk her out of it. You missed the opportunity to end that relationship with a bang. Life's a disaster. Let empty on you. Group sex is the place where your sexual repression meets your physical insecurities. I once tried to duck my girlfriend in the standing position by picking her up and thinking I could hold her with just my arms and dick. Instead she fell to the ground and slammed her head. Though she declined any medical attention, that did put a stop to any sex for us for the rest of the day. I love this position. Picking her up against a wall. Her legs wrapped around my waist. Her arms around my shoulders. My arms on her ass. It's amazing, but you need decent upper body strength. My ex-wife was pocket-sized. My new partner is not, and I've had to increase my lifting to manage this comfortably now. Get my cock blown. After I've shot a huge wad. My bell end is super sensitive. After I've blown my load, and the slight feeling of getting it cleaned by a mouth feels like sexy punishment. I said I didn't have money to pay for my pizza delivery. He called the cops instead. You cannot imagine how difficult it is to hold a half gallon of new juice and polish the one I'd go for when you're doing 75 in an 18-wheeler. Sex on the beach looks all romantic and fun in the movies, but in real life sand just gets everywhere. I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere. She wanted to go for anal sex. I was like, why not? She started crying in pain. Lasted about 5 seconds, and when I pulled out I had a peek. Well, Maybe it's better if I stop talking about it. I'm still traumatized. Can't go to a party at Poop's house then get mad when Poop shows up. Kidnapping. Apparently those people need food. 10/10ths not worth it. Stealing someone's lemons. They totally didn't get taste for trespassing. Shower sex is almost always crappy. I know it's more in regular movies than porn. But still. Close bracket. Fucking my stepsister made things awkward for 5 to 6 years until I was able to duck her fee and can cancel out the cloud. Premarital kissing. Whatever you do, think about post-nut clarity. Do some outlandish shit and that PNC is gonna T-bone you like an 18-wheeler. Degrading dirty talk. I'm into normal dirty talk, and in porn I'm really turned on by the more degrading stuff. Like the guy calling the woman a little slut or something. Tried it once with a FWB and nearly smacked him for calling me a whore, even though I specifically asked him to do just that. Hooked up with a friend of mine, and she kept talking dirty and asking me to do the same. But I was hesitant about possibly saying something dumb. She says duck me like a whore, and I responded with you like, when I fill up your slutty pussy, to which she stopped and yelled at me that was too far, and I hurt her feelings and killed the mood. No more dirty talk for me. Haha. Rollerplay with a costume. Maybe that works for some people, but imagine doing this for someone else and not being into the idea at all. And, to be clear, I completely misunderstood the assignment. Ugh. Still cringe thinking about it. Weird enough cream peas. Love the genre, but doing it in real life can be terrifying. Only did it once with a one-nighter, cause she said I could, and prob second guess myself for 9 months after lol. Not ready for the kid life, so I def had to temper my desires cause it's not always the easiest to find someone to do that with. Scissoring. So sad. Threesome. MMF. I'm the F. One of the guys was my boyfriend, the other a friend. The friend couldn't keep it up, and the boyfriend was hesitant to take over, as to not wound the pride of the friend, I would imagine. Baby oil. Looks really cool, but ruins pretty much everything it touches. True, but one time I was about to have the carpet replaced in a room. So I gave 0 ducks if it got damaged. We threw down a cheap plastic shower curtain and got all slippery. 10/10ths. Vor. Talking dirty. I'm not very good at it. Maybe because I'm English and too polite. Forget phone sex too. I did it once, but I kept wanting to giggle. I felt stupid trying to explain what I was meant doing. I have Cockney accent, apparently quite sexy, but not when I do it. I love watching verbal porn though. Handcuffs. She really wasn't digging it, so no more. Shower sex. Don't even dare. Pregnancy risk. Well, here's the thing about porn for me. I look at most of the stuff, like I look at war movies. It's great fantasy, but if even a tiny bit of it was true I would be freaked out and disgusted. 2 words. Chain collar. I guess I didn't realize it would hurt. When the girl is in cowgirl and jumps up and down on the guy's dick. To all the women reading, do not do this. It ducking hurts and ruins the mood. The correct technique is to move your hips back and forth in cowgirl. You don't want to crush your partner's pelvis. The only reason why they do it in porn is so they can get a good shot of the guy's dick going into the vagina. And the male pornster's dick is giant enough to get a good shot of this. Don't do it in real life, please. Being a fairly tall dude, I can tell you most positions are untenable. If my partner is significantly shorter than me, which, as said, being a fairly tall dude, makes 80% of my partners significantly shorter than me, which sucks because some positions feel really ducking good. I'm really into gay wrestling where the loser get ducked, but I don't have strong body so wrestling in real life could kill me. People who are stuck in / under things while bent over. Turns out that's not an open invitation. I got really turned on when I watched CNC content, consensual non-consent. I loved the idea of a rape fetish. I'm a sub girl and wanted to be wrapped like I saw because it was my deep pleasurable thought until I had someone tell me they will do it with me. Well, we didn't discuss his safe action, and when I was being slapped, punched, and torn up, I couldn't speak because my mouth gagged and I sat in pain, not able to call a safe word, and stop didn't do anything as much as I screamed it. It was mortifying being actually wrapped. 0/10ths never tell a man you have a CNC fetish. Sex in a bathtub. The back pain I got from it was excruciating. Went for anal to save her virginity and the pain made her throw up. Edit. Surpassed now. Wet and messy clothes filling. Doesn't feel as sexually arousing as watching it happen to other people, and it also went up crevices that I freaked out about. Threesomes. They are so awkward in real life. I've had 2 FMF that were just strange. 1 FMF that was great because the 2 women were like best friends that loved each other and messed around with each other all the time. And I had a MFM that was decent too, but it takes like this perfect blend of people and comfort levels. And one person even being slightly uncomfortable or jealous ruins the whole thing. Edit. That's a hint for guys and girls. Don't try to get your partner to do threesomes unless they are 100% non-jealous and very secure. And even then, when it comes down to the moment, you might need to back out for their sake anyway. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.